1, 2, 3. We actually did it on the same time.
Yeah, we did. That was good.
We're good at this.
Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Thanks for having us after church.
You're having me after church in your own house right now.
That's right. Yeah.
This is super fun.
And we're at least like 3.5 feet away.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
We're
not.
6 feet.
We are 6
Yeah.
feet. Because we're taking it seriously.
Yeah, we are.
Unlike someone.
Yeah.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Mexican food or pizza?
Mexican.
I didn't even need to hear pizza.
Theater
Actually, wait a minute. Pizza's pretty fun.
Pizza's
fun.
So you're going to choose
Mexican.
pizza? Mexican.
Pizza's a way funner food. And here's why. Have you ever been to a fun event
Yep.
that did not have pizza?
Yeah, not fun all the time.
Yeah, not fun.
Theater or Netflix?
Netflix.
No, God, more fun?
More fun. Which one's more fun?
Theater.
Text or call?
Text.
Text. I'm not a
100%.
Yeah.
TV or movies?
TV.
movie.
Movie.
That TV is more fun.
Yeah.
More fun.
Depends on the TV show.
Yeah.
Lift up a shout of praise or raise a hallelujah?
Raise a hallelujah.
Lift up a shout. I mean, that sounds pretty fun.
It does sound fun.
Lift up a shout of praise.
Connect 4 or tic-tac-toe?
Connect 4.
Yeah, tic-tac-toe is so boring.
Really?
Well, think about it. No, that if me and you both know how to play, nobody ever wins.
No, that's not true because
It
I
is.
don't. Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Let's play right now.
All right. Gross. 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 Oh, dang it. I thought that I tricked you.
Whoa!
But see, look,
You know
that
what's
was fun. That was fun.
Tic-tac-toe!
See, that was fun. So what does like a normal day or a normal night at the McClarney house look like?
Mad sex. Like, no, a normal night at the McClarneys where our kids fight a lot. Not every night though. We
Intense moments of fellowship.
we do dinner every night together,
Yeah, which is good.
which is super fun. And we always do highs and lows,
Oh, like a rose and thorn.
like roses and thorns. We always do that. Typically, if a fight happens, it happens during highs and lows. We have rules. Like I told you about the one, if you impale something with a stick, it's a sickle.
Right.
So
That's a new culture.
if you put a pickle on a stick, it's a pickle sickle.
Pickle sickle.
Yeah, but we also have little cultural rules about highs and lows, which are the low can't be about anyone in the family.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
But we also aren't sure if we're teaching them something that's not great. In that, if you don't have a low, you get clapped for.
Yes.
So somebody might try to stuff those emotions and those feelings from the day
I've been doing that my whole life, though.
in order to just
Right.
get clapped for.
Yes.
That's how we survive.
So
Well, that's basically what church work is like. You act like somebody different than you actually are, so the people will clap for you.
Right.
And that's what we're teaching them at the dinner table every night.
Ministry life. You're just
Ministry,
preparing them.
yeah, it's just ministry life.
You guys get it. Because you guys have been ministry, like church life, for forever, right? You both grew up in the church?
we grew up in church and we met in ministry.
I was
so.
working at Inner City Ministry. She was a homeless woman and came and she wasn't homeless. She was a pole dancer. You want to tell them about that?
Gosh, I can't.
They had pole dancers one night. That was the first time I ever saw her in my entire life.
Out of the video
No, it's not.
footage.
You have to keep it. I'm going to tell these people directly. This woman right here was a pole dancer. She came dancing into the church with the pole.
That's
And
pole
they-
dancing.
Yes. And they were like smacking it on the ground, like,
was like a-
beating up strongholds and stuff, and like creating hedges of protection.
Yeah.
You gotta create those hedges.
Well, they don't make themselves. Do they?
So,
Yeah.
Jazz,
Yeah.
tell me, before your pole dancing career began, how did you grow up in the church, or what was that?
I did grow up in the church, pretty much. My family, or my mom's side, was Methodist, and we sort of wavered between the Methodist church and non-denominational for years. So there was a lot of tradition in my past, as well as that free reign Holy Spirit stuff.
As well
so
as we don't know.
we don't know. Oh, yeah, just anything goes.
Yeah.
So
And Jazz was the very first youth pastor at Grace Center ever.
You were.
You learn something new every day.
I mean, gosh, just new facts every day. So
Yeah.
what was that like? How many youth did you have?
I don't know.
30?
Yeah, probably.
Like every youth pastor says, like, how many kids are actually in my youth group? I don't know.
Right.
That's how we
know.
met. Was she brought the youth group to the Foundry, which is the inner city ministry I was at, to help serve. And she, of course, was like, damn, who's that hottie? I was that hottie.
Then she pulled out her pole and she was
Yeah, she was
No.
like, let me impress it.
No.
Like, unsheathed it.
No.
took it out like a sword.
Hey, boy, you need the hedge.
No, I did the classic. Could you show me some guitar chords?
Oh,
And-
yes.
And
And I was like, yeah, girl.
How old were you guys when you met?
19
20.
and 20. Mm-hmm.
And then we made this thing.
Back when you were 19?
No.
No.
This is our most recent one.
Hi! This is Charlie. I have
Say
a
hi.
Charlie too.
Hi.
There's a camera there. There's a camera there.
All right, we're gonna play Charlie's game.
All right. Now, look at that camera and tell them a would you rather that they can play.
Would you rather die or die?
Wait, give us two different options.
Give us two different options. Would you rather
Would you rather die
or...
or get stung by a million wasps?
Oh,
Oh, I don't know.
wow, that one's hard.
Die
I'm going to
from-
say, or wasps.
I'm gonna say die for my death.
That's pretty good.
That was a good one. All right, run back.
Woohoo! Speaking of kids, you have 3 kids.
We do. We have one that's about to turn 16,
Oh my goodness.
one that's about to turn 14, and then she just turned 7.
You're a homeschool parent now.
Right.
Yeah.
So the beauty in the older ones is that they can kind of do their own school, and they have their Zooms and all their stuff. But Charlie, I'm not sure how much of an education she's getting.
She did dissect an owl pellet today.
An owl pellet. That's poop.
Yeah, owl
Yes.
poop. And had to tell how many skulls were in it.
Yeah, it was bad.
How many skulls were in it?
2.
It was gross, and nobody would come out and help me. No,
So
not
you dissected the poop then.
well. Yeah, by the end, Charlie had a plastic fork and a plastic knife, and by the end, and her hands were inside
Plastic
bags. And by the end, she had the bags off, and she was just like pulling it apart, and I was like, whatever.
She was like, this is awesome. My favorite part of you
gross.
being homeschooled is all the science project posts. Like
We've tried to do some science experiments, and they just don't. They're not panning out. Okay, dip all that in. Okay.
Can I go?
Oh. It was supposed to be bouncy. Ew.
Okay, so back to the hedge of protection.
Yeah.
You were a youth pastor.
Yep.
And you went to the Foundry. You guys met. And then how long did you date before you got married?
Way too long. 2.5 years.
About 2 years. It was too long, and it came with its challenges because we were in hardcore ministry.
Yeah, full-time ministry.
So
Both of you in your separate ministries, or
So
Well, she ended up moving down there.
Yeah, I moved down there and lived in the apartment up here, and he lived in the apartment down there, and it was just nonstop, like middle of the night, people knocking on the door asking for sandwiches, and so it was hard to like really get to know each other in an atmosphere
Well,
like that.
and like trying to have a relationship in ministry that never stops is almost impossible.
And
Yeah.
so you guys got married, and now you've been married for 18 years, you said?
Almost.
Almost 18 years.
Yep.
So what's like, go back to highlights and lowlights. What's your highlight of 18
Ooh,
years and your low?
highs and lows.
Highs and lows.
The lowest for me was probably last year. She got super sick
Yeah.
and was in the hospital. That was a bummer because you were in bed for over 6 weeks. And I don't know if you've ever realized this about me, but I do kind of act like a big kid. And so I had to grow up and be like the sole parent in the house. It all happened about the same time I was trying to record a record. And
Gosh.
well, a few records, because I recorded a solo EP, and then we did the Church of the City record, and then the Jesus Culture record. And all those happened within 8 weeks of each other. And it was all at the tail end of her being super sick. So her mom had to come out and hang with her. And it was a horrible season. That was a low for me.
That was probably, it was probably low for me too.
Yeah, that would have been a low for me as well.
Mm-hmm. And it was hard for me too, because he's a 7. So watching a 7 who normally can spin something to feel okay or happy, he couldn't spin it because it was just rough.
It wasn't happy. It's real easy for me to find the silver lining, but yeah, I think for me it's been a little bit harder. I had a panic attack at the end of last year, which I thought I was dying, like legit. I was like, oh, I'm dying. So I drove myself to the hospital. I just didn't know what it was because I never experienced like worry or panic. Because legit, I don't worry about anything and never have. And for the first time in my life, I was just like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm having a heart attack. I can't breathe. I'm dying. I'm having a heart attack. Chest pain. I was like, my arm is numb all of a sudden. I'm driving myself to the hospital and I was like, oh God. I wept outside of the emergency room when I walked in. I never cry either. And I was just weeping. I was in there. I was like, oh, I think I'm dying. And they were awesome. They were super quick. They hooked me up to everything. And like an hour and a half later, they were like, you're fine. Get out of here. But the weird part about last year is it was both our best and worst year. Like on the business side, on her business side, on my music side, everything is going amazing. And then, like, personally, it was just horrible. Wow. But, like, if I look back and if I were to say, well, last year was actually pretty good. Like, we made more money than we've ever made, and we felt more secure financially to not have to worry about that kind of stuff. But then all this other worry stuff comes in. It was a weird season. It was just weird. Yeah. Because it was good and bad.
Well, getting older is kind of weird. He just turned 40 in November. Crazy. So 40 is like a milestone, and I'll be 40 in July. So
you guys don't look it.
Well, thanks.
Oh, come
on. When we looked at our parents at this age, we thought they were so old. And we're like, but we don't feel that old. But I think we are.
We are.
Yeah, I think we are old.
You know what question we ask ourselves all the time is, are we weird? Because our parents are so weird. Our parents are so weird. But they don't think they're weird.
They don't think they're weird.
They're just old.
Yeah, they think they're fine. But they're weird. Do we think we're fine, but we're actually weird?
Would you tell us?
You're not weird.
Okay.
I don't think you guys are. I think you guys are more normal than most.
It's definitely, that would be on the list of my biggest fears, is to find out that, my God, we're weird.
My God, we're weird.
What happened?
What do your kids say? Do your kids think you're weird?
No, I think they think we're cool-ish.
What's a highlight of the 18 years you guys have been married? Doesn't have to be the highest high. It can just
we've had a lot of fun. The best part about a 2 and a 7 being married is that she is always like willing to help and is totally understands that that's not me. I'm not very responsible or helpful. And then I am super loyal. Like us will probably be together forever, and we rarely fight about normal.
Probably. We will
be together forever.
We will be together forever.
No, I'm saying we'll probably be together forever and not fight.
Oh, yeah.
Because we rarely fight, like now, about normal things. When we fight, it's about stupid things. Like, if she doesn't eat food that I cook when it's warm, makes me so mad.
This guy does not like cold food. He doesn't like...
No.
You don't like eating it, and you don't like
That's
preparing...
It's not true.
I'll
eat cold food and I won't complain. It's when I work real hard to cook the food and I'm like, all right, it's ready. It's perfect. She's like, I'll be there in a minute. Like 30 minutes later.
No.
It's just steaming.
You
He's
don't,
like,
you don't want to reheat it or anything.
no, because it'll
No.
mess up the texture.
The thing that this is Quarantine Chris is really great at
Quarantine
Quarantine Chris.
Did you guys see how excited I was about my nickname? I was just like,
Quarantine Chris.
Quarantine
That
Chris.
should be a hashtag.
that's
Quarantine
me,
Chris.
Quarantine Chris.
Chris is always like the important channels on cable are like the funny channels and the learning channel. Like he's been YouTubing the most awesome food dishes.
And I make them.
And then he like gets a grocery list together and gets it and makes it. And
Quarantine Chris.
Quarantine
Quarantine
Chris.
Chris. Quarantine Chris.
So dinners have been awesome. But if I don't come to dinner when that dinner bell rings, we might have a
You're in
problem.
trouble.
Then
Yeah.
we fight. But those are the stupid things we fight about. How many fights have we had about money? Like none.
Never.
Or like the normal things married couples fight about, like on TV shows. I'm always like, we don't really fight about that stuff. It's always something stupid, like how bad she is at navigating when I'm driving.
So unfair because I'm really not that bad. It'll like reload right when I'm supposed to tell him to turn, and then we get lost, and then yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah, but
everything
these are
goes up.
stupid fights. Regular married people don't fight like those fights. We've really stuck to we don't go to bed angry with each other. Even if it's the last thing I do, I'm like super mad, like I love you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I love you.
Yeah.
But we always make sure that we're not going to bed.
You like touch toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we're okay.
I love you.
Good, love you.
Aside from quarantine life, what are you guys doing now? Tell me what your life looks like now.
She owns a business.
I'm cleaning business. We lost about 50% due to COVID, but you know, we're rebuilding. I read a quote, I think it was Brene Brown, something that talked about, you know, we're all like trying to get back to our normal. Like, oh, can't wait till things get back to normal. But losing sight of the opportunity to create a new normal and rebuild something that wasn't, you know, kind of a clean slate. I mean, I would never wish this on anybody, this whole situation, but we'll take it for what it is. And,
Was that a direct quote from Brene Brown?
yeah, that,
Yeah,
just like that. That's exactly what it was.
And
And
quote.
then you can sort of
Maybe, sort of, kind of.
rebuilding
maybe is-
slate.
And so you own the Green Room Cleaners, and you also do a nonprofit organization called
called The Laundrystop.
Yeah.
And we just had this idea, kind of saw a need. It was a little bit of a business idea at first, and it really, that wasn't going to work out, and it was just silly. And then we thought, what if we created a mobile laundry unit and did laundry for people in need who don't have access? And we started looking around downtown and realized that, you know, laundromats are pretty far walk, and it felt right. So we had a friend who started working on a trailer for us. We bought a trailer, started working on it, cutting holes in it, and we put 2 washers and dryers in it. And it's been a great learning experience, but really cool.
And we partner up with some people that do showers. So
Shower up, yeah.
and then inevitably people will show up and do like haircuts, and so somebody that lives on the streets can show up on a Sunday, get a shower, get all their clothes cleaned, and get a haircut and a beard trim, and actually be able to go get a job.
Wow.
And what's the word? What we're actually giving them is dignity. It's not like, so what, clean clothes, but to be able to walk away from, these are people without dignity. They live on the street. They don't have money to pay for anything. And dignity for them, I think, is the thing that kind of helps pull them out of there. And having been in ministry for as long as we've been, especially when we first met doing inner city ministry, specifically with the homeless, and then fast forward, 18, 19, 20 years later now.
Yeah, wow.
And we're working with the homeless again. And where I think we went wrong in the beginning is we always kind of treated the homeless as like people we're going to help. We're just going to help them. Like let's give them food so they can eat. And I think that's important. But what I love about what we're doing now is we're actually giving them dignity. So, and that's the kind of thing they can walk away with and then go and actually cash in on a new life.
Yeah, get a job.
Yeah, get a job. Go.
It's empowering.
Get housing. Yeah.
I think too, you know, rewind to younger us, there was a lot of, like, we felt a lot of pressure, not that anybody put it on us, but on ourselves to make disciples. Like, you know, we want to just dig in there and we want to see them, you know, saved, healed, delivered.
It wasn't even that. It was more like make converts.
Like converts. Okay, make converts. Right.
Like, just get them to pray the prayer and then their life will be better.
Really focused on that.
Right.
Like, okay, we're giving them, you know, this meal, but also, you know, we really want to press into, you know, that whole thing.
Right.
And this has been kind of like flipping it around and just focusing on serving and meeting needs and just loving. And it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Like, just, I mean, when we show up and they're gathered around and they want to help get the generators out and they're just excited that you're there. We've only been doing this for a year now but I feel like.
And we're already dreaming up a new trailer.
Yeah, dreaming up a new trailer.
Well, because we made all of our mistakes on the first one.
Yeah.
Now we know what not to do.
Yeah.
The new trailer will be
little things that would have gone wrong that you had to fix as you were going. But I just love this because it really is serving the community.
And we don't get anything out of it. Like, it's not like she goes down there and does that and she's keeping some like internal score of like, well, how many people did I get to pray with me today? Like, it's not that. Like, literally, the whole goal is to wash homeless people laundry. There's no like extra goal.
Right.
There's not like
no
we're doing this like so we can trick them into coming to church. No, it's just like, let's just do what Jesus told us to do.
Right.
Like, go help people that need help. And I mean, Matthew's super clear about it. Like, I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. I was naked and you gave me clothes. That's where we fit in. You gave him clean clothes.
Yeah.
And I was sick. I was in prison and you visited me. Whatever we've done to the least of these, we've done to him. And like, for me as a worship leader, why this works so good is because I feel like I'm lying. If I'm leading people singing songs like, I love you, Jesus. And I'm like, I love you, Jesus. But we don't ever actually love Jesus.
Right.
No strings attached.
Right.
Just go love people. Yeah, when we first got married, or right before we got married especially, I mean, we were just super Christian, which is fine. And now, oddly enough, I feel more Christian than I've ever felt, in a weird way, but less Christian than I've ever felt, because I don't have, again, it goes back to these like weird agendas. Like, when we were young, everything had an agenda. Like, I'm helping that guy so I can get a crown in my, or like a jewel in my crown. Like, I don't understand where my brain was at, but it just feels so much simpler having grown and honestly having been hurt by the church and having worked through that hurt and having hurt other people as a leader in a church and having to work through that. And the back end of all that to then go, oh, maybe the agenda thing isn't the most fruitful way to go about it. What if we just do what we're supposed to do, but we don't expect anything in return, even ever? Like, I'm not storing up treasure in heaven. It's just good to help poor people. I don't want people to feel guilty that are watching this and they're like, well, I still feel like I'm only doing it to get something. But, you know, part of me probably does that a little bit too. Like, it sounds awesome to be on camera and tell you how much we help the poor and our successful business. But it's not like, none of that is quite matters like it would have when we were young. I don't know.
Nashville is an amazing city with so much opportunity, but we have overlooked a major need in our own backyards. I have lived in Nashville for 30 years and have just learned recently that we have about 20,000 people in our own backyards that are homeless. So we saw a need and we wanted to help. So we started doing some research and realized that there was nowhere within walking distance for these people to do their laundry.
Personally, right now, don't have a place to do laundry, so what I do with my dirty clothes is I throw them out.
I pick up my pants, get another pair of pants, and I throw them away because I ain't got nowhere to wash.
You have nowhere
I
to
literally
wash.
had a job where I couldn't wash my clothes and got fired. My clothes, I slept under the bridge and I had a smell. My clothes, they told me to wash my clothes. I said I couldn't wash my clothes, I didn't have enough money.
As soon as Jasmine and I decided that we wanted to do this and make this vision happen, we started to go out with local nonprofits here in Nashville that are serving the homeless, and we learned that there are encampments all over Nashville. And part of our vision is to be able to roll up and just have a laundry day with them where we wash clothes, their blankets, sleeping bags, whatever they need. In regards to the particular service that we offer, which is laundry, we are unique. But helping the homeless and wanting to come out here and build relationship and trust with them, we are definitely joining a team, and we're super excited to join that movement.
The first time that I went out with Shower Up, I was amazed to see how a simple act of service could restore dignity and a sense of self-worth to these people. And that's what the Laundry Stop is hoping to accomplish.
Obviously, what we're talking about here is next level dignity restoration, right? This is more than just about getting clothes clean. This is about helping people to be able to find jobs. Wearing clean clothes, getting a shower, shave, haircut, all part of that thing of we're going to change our lives by changing our attitudes. We're going to restore dignity in their lives. So that's what it's all about.
Doing laundry for the homeless, we realize, is not going to solve the issue of getting these folks off of the streets. But it can help restore some dignity and bring some confidence and encouragement to these folks.
What about you, Chris? What's going on in your life?
Lots of music. I released an EP. I forget the name of it. Fill This Place.
Fill This Place. Was that it?
Spelled with the PH. Yeah. All about my friend named Phil. This place.
This place.
It was all based on a song that I wrote when I came to his house for the first time, and I walked in the door and I was like, Phil, this place.
Oh, good job, man.
Yeah.
He was like, I should write an album about this.
They recorded a record with my church called Church of the City that came out, and then Jesus Culture's record just came out. And then next 3 weeks from now, maybe, the volume 2 comes out. So we recorded 2 records. The best part about my life right now is, well, I used to be able to travel, and I would travel on my own when we could do concerts with people. And I had a band of guys, so much fun, just camaraderie and all the inside jokes and all that. And that was just my solo stuff. And then I also got to do bigger tours where you're playing to, I was playing to like 1,000-seat churches. And with Jesus Culture, we're playing like, 7 to 10,000 seaters. Amazing, super fun. And then church, which is just my people that I get to lead worship with on a Sunday. And yeah, so being able to have all 3 of those little outlets where I get to pursue my own music thing and be adventurous. I get to do the, anthems stadium rock thing with Jesus culture, and then I get to do the church thing. And for me, that's been awesome, albeit hard to juggle.
It's just been so fun to get to know you guys, for people to get to know you guys and just to chat and have fun. I don't want to keep you too much longer, so I'm going to ask you one more question. How would you guys encourage people that might be in one of those seasons that's just really hard, like what you guys went through last year?
There's one really sweet thing that we kind of pressed into during that season, and it was taking communion. It was, some friends came over and prayed with us, and we took communion together, and it was if there was any turning point during that time for me, it was that day. And it just changed my perspective, and kind of just gave me a renewed sense of hope. And since that time, it's been kind of a go-to thing for me or for us. Honestly, though, we never have grape juice, and I don't eat crackers, so it's usually
kombucha and tortilla
chips, chips, or whatever. But that was on a spiritual level, that was a really good thing for us.
Yeah.
And then my advice would just be that you just have to remember it's gonna pass. I mean, it will eventually.
Yeah.
And it might not be the outcome that you are hoping for. It might suck for a long time, but it will pass. And the problem when you're in that kind of situation, I think, is that you just feel so hopeless. It's going to be like this forever, but it's not.
Yeah.
The season, that's the thing that I would say I've learned after 18 years of being married, is seasons. There's great seasons, and then there's really, really bad ones. And there's all the seasons in between. But just recognizing that the season you're in right now isn't the season you're going to be in forever.
Right.
And just, I don't know, because it's hard. It's not like I could have fixed anything.
Right.
That's the thing. She was sick. I couldn't do anything. I could just be a dad and a husband. But, having hope and knowing that it's not forever.
Right.
I don't know.
No, that's great. That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show.
We have to play a game.
We will play a game.
I want to play it right now.
Okay. yes, sir. We're in your house, so we will do it.
Give me a game.
Okay. Okay. So some of your favorite Christian statements. Just go for it.
Hedge of protection.
Okay, hedge of protection.
Doing life together.
Ooh. Okay.
Entering a new season.
Entering a new season. I'll be praying for you.
Oh, greet each other with the holy kiss.
Okay.
Bless your heart.
It's just
bless your heart.
On fire for God.
On fire for God.
Let's press in.
Let's press in. I'm on a journey.
Too blessed to be stressed. That's not on here. I just thought of it.
To be stressed. I think that's plenty.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Let's see.
You can pick the genre.
Trying to decide if it's extra cheery, like Christian phrase song, or a super sad Christian phrase song. All right, let's see. I think I can make a change.
Okay.
It's just a season. Bless your heart. I'm on a journey. I need to journal. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm doing life together with my friends. We're doing life together, just praying for each other. I'm gonna pray for that edge of protection. Ooh. I'm gonna pray for your edge of protection till you're on fire for God. Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Well